Are you concerned that Magic Mania might be taken to a whole new level?
No, well, it's probably a good thing for our club. I mean, in terms of, exposure for our club, and he's a pretty level-headed sort of a guy, and he's a lot of people at our club have done a lot of work with him over a number of years to try and keep him level and focus on what's important. So I've got no problems with the inevitable hype and excitement. It's great for the game. It's a great story, and we've just got to make sure we keep him level-headed, which I think we will.
What were you most pleased about with his performance?
Well, 10 shots at goal, I think, was the most pleasing thing. But he's learning and evolving all the time, and I think we try and keep things relatively simple in terms of focus areas for him, and we focus on a couple of things during the week, and he's picking things up really quickly now. So we're really confident that, and while he's not a complete footballer yet, we're trying to play to his strengths and introduce things one at a time, and he's picking them up incredibly quickly. I mean, I think it's a really good advertisement for our game that you can take players from non-traditional football backgrounds, and there are heaps of examples of them over the year with Ty Kennelly and the Irish guys, and we've got Eric Wallace from the USA on our list, and he's picking up the game really, really quickly too. So hopefully we can start to attract that sort of athletic talent to our game.
Does it surprise you, Brad, that he's done that in his fourth game? I mean, he's only his fourth game.
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, it really does. I mean, because we knew that he'd be able to do some of the things that he did today, but the consistency of effort was always going to be the challenge for him, and still is the challenge for him. So things, Drew Petrie played a really important role for us today. He's the ultimate clubman, Drew. I mean, he'll do whatever's best for the team, whether it's and he doesn't see it as a sacrifice. He just sees it as investing in our team, and that's what we want from all our players. So Drew was able to give Majak a better opportunity today, and that's why we were very keen to sign Drew for 2 years as quickly as possible. And he's going to be really important to Majak and Robbie Tarrant and Aaron Black and these guys going forward.
So much of Majak's talk around his web about what he could become. Is that a genuine sign today that he's already a real handful?
Oh, I think he's a handful. I think he's that's what we're trying to coach him to use his talents to the best of his ability, and make sure that he can use his strengths, because the opposition are going to start. I think when you play, and I was over in Perth last week, and we think there's hype around Majak. I mean, I've never heard a roar like it at Subiaco when Nat Nui took the green vest off. So, in terms of excitement, there's precedent there for that sort of hype, and Nat Nui's continued on. Majak's will tell you himself he's nowhere near at that level, and he can do things that others can't, but his challenge is to be able to do it when things aren't working for him and find another way to get the footy, which we're continually working with him.
Brad, some of Majak's efforts in the ruck though were actually sort of Nat Nui like. Does it? Do you actually look at Nat Nui's game and base it on that a little bit for that ruck sort of role?
A little bit, but not really. I mean, what probably Majak's got different strengths to Nat Nui, and we've got to remember that. The facts are that Nick Nat Nui was picked 2 overall in the national draft. Majak was a rookie selection, so essentially Majak was in the hundreds in the draft order in his year. So in terms of where they were rated at the same age, I mean, there's a vast difference, But again, Madge is a good example of what you can do with really hard work, and hard work trumps talent any day of the week.
Talk about the great stories. The story of Majak is you get Nat Nui and Majak on the same ground next week. If you could possibly step back, that's incredibly appetising.
Yeah, I think it's great. And it's a Friday night game in Perth, so it's always a sellout at Subiaco when you play the Eagles. So there's going to be a big crowd. It's a big game, and hopefully there's a lot of excitement in it. And our fans either get to fly over and watch or watch it in prime time. So it's going to be a good day for the footy club.
How much will you talk about Memphis will you place on the last time you were there?
Look, I don't think I'm going to need to say too much, because if it's burning in the stomach of the players as much as it's burning in mine, then we won't need to say anything. We'll just let our actions do the talking. But things change really quickly. Our side's significantly different to the one we took over to Perth in September last year. So But I was really impressed with them last week against the Bulldogs. They just got a lot of talent on every line, and they're starting to get all that talent back in. So it's going to be a real challenge over there.
How are your injured blokes?
Yeah, all just double check then. Mullet had a sprained ankle, so they didn't want to take any risks with him and subbed him off it just after half time. Swallows, he should be fine. Structurally, all his ligaments are fully intact, so there's no ligament damage. So it's just now a matter of assessing, I suppose the level of the bruising, because clearly he got a knock and it was a little bit sore, but the ligaments are all sound and structurally it's all intact. So that's the first hurdle to get over, and now we've just got to see the extent of any bruising. Yeah, fine. He's just like he's been not carrying, but he's trying to work through just some tendinitis that he's had over a long period of time, and he had a slight medial strain which he missed 2 weeks with, and so he's just aggravated that. But the guys anticipate that he'll be okay.
Brad, how do you assess the performance? Because it's 3 quarters they pushed you pretty hard. And
Yeah.
Got a roll on
Yep.
the last quarter. Were you pleased with the performance, particularly the last quarter? Did you dwell on the first 3? What would you read?
Yeah, I will always go back and have a really good look at what was working for us and what wasn't. I think, we can talk about stats and all these things, but accuracy is still the most important. I hear Lee Matthews say it all the time. Accuracy is the most important stat. I mean, when you keep missing, it keeps the opposition in it. You can talk about the fundamentals to generate those shots, but the Bulldogs came out with great intensity as we expected. I think Ryan Griffin's top 10 player in the competition. He's a genuine superstar. I think he's just about the most dynamic midfielder in the game. The Bulldogs must be frustrated because we all talk about great players like Dangerfield, and Griffin's well and truly in their category, if not beyond. So we had a really hard time curtailing his influence. We weren't wrapped with the way we played for the first 3 quarters, but I think the Bulldogs had a fair bit to say about that.
With Swallow sort of being blanketed a little by lower, Zeeble took over that leadership role with absolute bomb, didn't he?
Yeah, we spoke about it pre-game because we started Daniel Wells as our sub. We really are mindful that Wellesley's had an injury-interrupted pre-season, so it pretty much gets to this stage of the year where he either doesn't play or he plays as a sub. So the sub was a pretty good option. But we've got to move away from being a team that relies on Petrie, Swallow, Harvey, Wells to win games. And so we put it on some of those young midfielders, and Jack's already a leader of our club, but he showed great leadership today. Thank you.